Switching gears, everyone, AMD stock climbing this morning after the chip maker posted slightly weaker than expected third quarter earnings, but noted solid gains in revenues in its gaming and data center segments, which partially offset weakness in the PC market. We got to set this scene here, though. This was on some of the weaker guidance that they had already issued and put out on the street. So with that in mind, and that kind of as the background there, even with those preliminary results that they announced last month, they were still, in this case, pleased with the performance of data center, gaming, and embedded segments, each of those growing significantly year over year. It's just a matter of when we continue to see some of this PC demand, as that continues to wane, what does that mean in the road ahead for this business as well?
Yeah, this PC correction just seems to be rolling right along and getting worse. I did not like that Lisa Su, CEO of AMD, hopped on that earnings call last night and said they don't really see any growth for China, and that perhaps continues into next year. I tweeted that out, just a big red flag for me. Also going to note a good note by Citi, Chris Danley, he covers the chip space. Neutral rating out this morning. He thinks the rest of the AMD's business, that is data center and consoles, will in fact correct. And when that does, that might be the buying opportunity. But I think the street is surprised to see this reaction here in the early going.
Yeah, and you continue to have the arms race, if you will, the market share race between AMD and Intel. As we know, AMD has gained a lot of share, particularly on that all-important server side, which has been such a growth area for them. On the PC side this quarter, they actually lost a little bit of ground to Intel, in part because AMD held the line on pricing, right? Would not necessarily offer some of the discounts or the lower prices that Intel was offering. But from what the analyst commentary I'm seeing, they expect AMD to continue to sort of regain that share and continue its momentum on the server side of the business. Yeah,
Lisa Su saying on the call last night, the PC business, it is more price sensitive, and they've seen it become more price sensitive over time. They believe that there's a strong value proposition, but that value proposition, when you have less demand that continues to trend lower, that might not mean anything, unfortunately. It's really just coming down to how much of the total addressable market still remains intact, and that's just not the case. It's not remaining intact.
Right, and I would just add on this move here in the pre-market, I don't think it's really a function of the results, because to your point, they missed their lower guidance. You never want to see a company do that, but next week they're coming out with their latest set of chips. Genoa chips. They like naming all their chips off of Italy for whatever reason. Italy's cool. My grandparents from there, hat tip to that. But I'm just saying, I think this is a market getting excited about the next generation of chips for AMD, which will likely be far superior to many others in the marketplace.
And there seems to be also maybe a little relief that they weren't worse, right? Even though the forecast for the current quarter is a little bit light of estimates, it's still an increase, not a decrease.
It's not an AMD problem. You have to think about Intel has been behind the curve in terms of products for the past 2 years. This is AMD feeling the effects of the marketplace. And this PC correction is terrible. And you have no indication it's going to be done anytime soon.